The Dallas Cowboys will not be making the NFL playoffs this year. That means there's just 2 games left of the season, but we will be here no matter what. Regular season, off season, and preseason, we got you covered with videos all year round. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out with a pivotal offseason coming up. Now is the time to subscribe. YouTube.com/Cowboys TV. Let's get into Overreaction Monday. Some takeaways coming out of the Cowboys' surprise win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Overreaction number 1. Is Mike McCarthy saving his job? This may not be an overreaction, and I did not think we were going to be here after the Cowboys got beat up by Philadelphia, beat up by Houston, and I will give Mike McCarthy credit. The Cowboys have very clearly not quit on him as their head coach. They have battled, they have fought, and they have won games that maybe they shouldn't have won, but they found ways to win. Jerry Jones, again, offering praise for Big Mike after the game, which shouldn't come as very much of a surprise. Lengthy quote, we'll go quickly here, but Jerry Jones said he's proud of those guys. They wouldn't give it up out there. So I'm real proud of them. Mike McCarthy, he just won't let them not think they're playing for the Super Bowl out there. He won't let them do it. So proud of that. There's many things that have gone into us sitting here not in the playoffs, and you can start with me. Not trying to be any other than a lot of people contribute to when you win it and when you don't. But give me that kind of effort. Give me that kind of professionalism. Those guys came out and played as if they were fighting in the championship to go to the Super Bowl. I can't tell you how proud I am of them and the coaching staff. I am. It really shows me something. And that's all praise from Jerry for Big Mike. However, Jerry also did not commit to anything beyond 2024. Jerry said this, just so we're clear, all I can say is what a good of a job he's doing. I don't have thoughts that I would share as to anything about what we do with our days after we're playing this year. I don't have anything I would share about that. After the Cowboys win over the Bucs, Jerry Jones mostly had the same refrain. He is happy with what Mike McCarthy has done lately. He's pleased with the fight shown by the Dallas Cowboys, but he won't commit either way in 2025. And that's probably the right way to play it, because there have been no reports of the Cowboys and McCarthy working on an extension at this point, and they're obviously not going to fire him right now because they would have done that already. I'm not sure, frankly, the Dallas Cowboys know what their plans are beyond this season. I am happy to give Mike McCarthy credit for the fight his team has shown. Tip of the cap, well done on that front. But I do want to make this part clear too. Not quitting is the bare minimum. That is not a reason to keep a coach. If your team quits on you when you're all getting paid, you got to be fired immediately. Make no mistake about it. The 2024 season is still a failure for the Dallas Cowboys. It has not been a good year. We can be proud and happy, whatever, over the fight shown by the Cowboys down the stretch here. That doesn't mean it's a good season. It's been a bad season for Dallas. We shouldn't lose sight of that. So do you want Mike McCarthy back as the Cowboys head coach? Y for yes, N for no. It's the pinned comment on today's show. Let me know in the comments, the pinned comment of today's video if the ad comes here on YouTube. Overreaction number 2. How about keeping Mike Zimmer? And this one is not an overreaction for me. Maybe one of your biggest arguments against McCarthy is that, hey, you're winning games. The defense is one of the biggest reasons why there. It took a few weeks, took about 2 months really. Zimmer's defense has clicked into place. Despite a variety of injuries, a banged-up secondary, since Week 10, really since the Cowboys got Micah Parsons back, this has been a top 10 unit. They're number 1 in drop-back EPA per play. The success rate being a little bit higher, again, is indicative of they're forcing some turnovers, especially through the air. They forced several turnovers there. Since Week 12, when they're on this 4 of 5 win streak, they are maybe not win streak, but streak. They're 6th in EPA per play. They're 2nd in drop back EPA per play. They've really done a great job of stopping running backs on the ground. It's been around 4 yards per carry. There have been some quarterback scrambles that have been a major negative there, and one big run by Joe Mixon. My mindset is this. If Mike McCarthy comes back, that is still an if for me. Mike Zimmer's back as well. There's no reason to move on from Zimmer there. I'm also down to keep Mike Zimmer regardless in 2025. I would like the next head coach, though, to be able to keep his to choose his coaching staff. It's not always how it works in Dallas, but I do think it would be a better thing for the Cowboys as an organization. Now, today's show is made possible by Z-Biotics. Whether it is a Christmas party, a New Year's party, whatever it is, the holiday season, you might not bounce back the way you used to when you were younger. That was certainly me, or at least used to be me. That is why Z-Biotics pre-alcohol is exactly what you're searching for. Pre-alcohol is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It is this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Remember to drink the probiotic before drinking alcohol, drink responsibly, and get a good night's sleep to feel your best tomorrow. Stay in the loop and go to zbiotics.com/chatsports. You can scan the QR code on screen to get 15% off your order when you use code ChatSports at checkout. You can also sign up for a subscription using the code so you can stay prepared no matter the time or the occasion. Z-Biotics, backed with a 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Head to zbiotics.com/chatsports and use code ChatSports at checkout to save 15% off. A big thank you to Z-Biotics for sponsoring this episode and our good times. Let's go to overreaction number 3. This is on Cooper Rush. Is he delivering? Yeah, I think he is. We've been critical of Rush in the past. It's only fair we give him his praise when he's worthy of said praise. I like a lot of what I've seen from Cooper Rush over the past few weeks. That was, I think, by far his best half ever. Now, the second half offense we'll talk about here in a second was not very good. But he had his 5th most passing yards ever in just the first half against Tampa, and he did it with 0 ground game to speak of. Now, since he's taken over as the starter, Cooper Rush's play has not been great. It's 29th in EPA per play, 30th in success rate, 33rd in completion percentage over expectation. Bad. That's not winning play. Since week 12, when the Cowboys have gone 4-5, it's gotten much better. Especially the last 2 weeks, by the way. He's up to 17th in EPA per play, 20th in success rate, still below average in completion percentage over expectation. He's missed some short throws to tight ends that he should maybe make there. So yes, the offense was bad in the second half or last night for the Cowboys. Yes, he only has 1 game in his career where the Cowboys have scored 3 offensive touchdowns. But you need to have the proper expectations here. This is how is Cooper Rush playing as a backup quarterback. That is the level of expectation. It should not be some weird Rush versus top 10 quarterback conversation and make it about Dak somehow. That's annoying because that's not a fair conversation. Rush has been better the last 5 games. Give him his praise for that. Rush has played like a fringe average quarterback, frankly. And if you're getting below average to average quarterback play out of your backup, that is actually top-end outcomes for him. That is exactly what you want to have. And Rush has done that the past 5 games for the most part. It's not always been perfect, but he is a backup. Put those expectations on him. You're probably pretty happy with how he's done. So overall this year, and how much you want to weight some of those early struggle games is, I think, a fair question. Grade Cooper Rush and apply the backup quarterback expectations for me. A, B, C, D, or F in the comment section of today's show. Let's move to overreaction number 4. Is it time for the Cowboys to sit down CeeDee Lamb? I don't think this is an overreaction. And I want to mention some positive things here as well. But let's go to CeeDee Lamb's quote first. He's about his shoulder. My shoulder's out of whack. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just out there battling, doing what I do. It's not fun, but I love this game that much. I'm willing to put my body literally out there on the line for my guys. I appreciate the fight and effort that CeeDee Lamb has shown as he battles a clearly not right shoulder injury. Every time he takes a hit, there is very clear pain from Lamb. I wouldn't be shocked if he needs surgery after the season. I frankly appreciate the leadership shown by CeeDee Lamb. You can throw Micah Parsons in this conversation too. I appreciate their fights. The season is over. That is the reality the Cowboys are facing at this moment. And I question if it is time to protect the player here. You also face this issue. You have a lack of organizational alignments. The head coach is fighting for his job. He knows he might not be back. He needs to win games. He needs CeeDee Lamb out there. But is that what's best for CeeDee Lamb and for the Cowboys in 2025? Can the shoulder get worse? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's a pain tolerance thing. It can't get worse. He's going to need whatever he needs after the season. I just wonder if you're setting the player up for a lack of success and just putting too much on him, and maybe you need to be the bigger man in the room, so to speak, and say, let's protect the player from himself. I don't have the medical information. It's a valid question, though, I think. And with the season over, you probably need to consider it. Now, as someone with Lamb on fantasy teams and playoffs, hey, keep playing and keep going for double-digit points every week for me. Would you sit CeeDee Lamb? P for play, S for sit. Overreaction number 5, Brandon Aubrey is a person. It's an underreaction. That's why we spam the alien emoji in the comments when he drills field goals. He blew right by person status and went right to alien status. In fact, I got to double-check the numbers. Outside of, like, the Commander's field, I think he's made like 95% of his kicks or something ridiculous. And frankly, I probably take him for granted. I think a lot of us do. You know, I leave him off probably more than I should in various like post-game reactions. I mentioned it briefly last night. This puts it into perspective. The Cowboys had 4 drives in which they gained 40 yards or less. 3 of them they gained 30 yards on. They scored on every single drive because Aubrey drilled 58, 49, 58, 53-yard field goals. That's unbelievable. When you put a 30-yard drive up there, you're supposed to punt. Like, that's not normally going to be, or maybe you get a field goal on half of them. You won by 2. You had 14 points from Brandon Aubrey. He averaged 54.5 yards per made field goal last night. That is unbelievable. That's not human. The job he has done since the Cowboys found him off the streets from the UFL as a former MLS soccer player is incredible. He is the best kicker in the NFL, and it's not even a conversation. Nobody holds a candle right now to Brandon Aubrey. Without Aubrey, if you were getting average kicker results, you might have 1 or 2 more losses at minimum right now, which is kind of crazy to think about.